Well, we all found out who orchestrated a heinous attack on Justice Smollett a couple of weeks ago. This person turned himself in to the Chicago PD recently, and not only Jussie, but the whole nation that has been captivated by this hate crime can all rest easy, knowing that this person will be brought to justice now. And who you might ask? Who is this vile, evil, just low down, deranged lunatic? Who was this person that would do such a horrible hate crime against someone so sweet as Justice Smollett? Just so happened to be Justice Smollett.
From the highways of America, here's the podcast where we talk politics, a little entertainment, some culture, and this and that, from the road to your ears. This is Trend Chat with your host, Brian Bledsoe.
And welcome to another episode of Trend Chat. I am your host, Brian Bledsoe. And if you want to connect with us, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or Snapchat. It's all the same name, at TrendChat 24/7. Yeah. So that big old dummy, Justice Smollett, decided to orchestrate his own attack. Isn't it's funny because I remember a couple episodes ago, I quickly, kind of touched on it and just said, I don't believe him. I didn't believe him. And it was based on just how he described what happened to him, for one, and just how anti-Trump and how much of a hater, I guess you could say, that he was of President Trump. And so how he described it and basically wanted to make it seem like some Trump supporters in the middle of the night just going to attack him in downtown Chicago. Like that right there just seemed funny to me. So you're telling me, so according to him, there was two white guys wearing MAGA hats, which MAGA means, make America great again. Those basically iconic red hats that President Trump wears, well, especially wore during the campaign. And apparently, so two white guys wearing those hats are just wandering around downtown Chicago in the middle of the night, just looking for a black gay guy, or just looking for him in particular. And according to his recollection of what happened, which we know now is all just made up. But when I heard that, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, downtown Chicago, two white guys with red MAGA hats. I feel sorry for them. I fear for their lives more than anything. I would think they'll be the ones get jumped. But no, he wanted to make it seem like, no, he the one that got jumped. So even by hearing that, I was already skeptical. I was like, yeah, like I said, I just can't see two white guys walking around around what was it like? He said it was around 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever, or something like that, walking around downtown Chicago. Yeah, I would have believed that they would have got jumped. That would have been more plausible than Jussie getting jumped. So I was already skeptical from that point, and so now we've gotten pretty much a lot of the details. Chicago PD had a press conference earlier this morning. Detail, I'm not finna get into all of that, but one thing that just stuck out is that one, he hired two Nigerians to orchestrate this whole attack, to put this whole thing together. And there's just two things that just kind of like blowing my mind. So, like I mentioned, the two Nigerians. Okay, all right, whatever. And then the next thing that came out during the press conference today is that he paid them by check. So, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of other details I can get into it, but this is something I posted earlier on my page on across social media because I just found it funny. Because, so you're telling me you're gonna hire two black guys to play two white guys, which, I mean, I feel like if you're gonna make something up, you can find two white guys. No, what? Not even white guys. You couldn't find two light-skinned black guys. And on top of that, you're gonna leave by giving them a check. I mean, I feel like if he told someone his plan, someone would have said, "You never done this before. You never been. I mean, I know you play on this show called Empire, which has a lot of shady drama that happens in that show. I feel like you could at least took one of their shows and they could have written something a whole lot better than this. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have no problem doing it for him, given the fact that what he was trying to do. They're like, oh, you want to orchestrate some sort of attack to make Trump supporters look racist? And I'm pretty sure he could have found some help. He could have found a screenwriter that would have helped him. Like, I could make this like look real good for you. They could have written this like a episode of Empire, but apparently he didn't do any of that. But it's funny because I posted this afternoon. You realize if he would have just done two things, if he would have hired not only some white actors, but even some light-skinned black guys and paid cash. If he would have done those two things, he would have gotten away with this. Mainly because that would have been enough for the media to just believe everything else in his story. But because he was so stupid to go so far to do those two things in particular, it just made it impossible for the media and all his buddies in Hollywood to go along with it. I mean, some of them are still going to, they're going to ride or die with them. So, but for the most of them just got, you were just too stupid for them to go along with it. Now, I know a lot of people are saying like, well, his career is over or whatnot. No, I doubt that unless he, do some serious time. I'm hearing that he faces up to 3 years in prison if he's charged. I doubt he gets charged, that he gets 3 years, if any time. But if he serves any time, then yeah, that's gonna hurt his career because he can't work. So that's kind of obvious. But yeah, if he gets out of all of this, he gets probation or whatever, or anything that keeps him out of going to jail, he'll be just fine. He'll be back on Empire. And Hollywood have no problem hiring him, having him on, movies or whatever. Matter of fact, this probably make him even more of a star in their eyes, because although he was caught in this hoax and lying and all that, yes, that's true. But and a lot of those liberals in Hollywood, well, just Hollywood in general, in their eyes, they understand his heart was in the right place, because, for people like him, whether we're talking about this or what happened with the Covington Catholic kids and what happened with Brett Kavanaugh, whether it's Nathan Phillips or Christine Blasey Ford, I mean, these people just they see Trump and Trump supporters as so evil, and that they feel like, well, that they have to basically fake any sort of situations because they're not actually finding any. But in their mind, they just know that these people are evil, even though they're not finding anything to attach it to. But for them, they're so deranged in wanting to believe so much in how they want to portray Trump, and anyone who supports Trump, and it's not even just supporting Trump. Anyone that is conservative, Republican, just take your pick. Anything that is against their progressive, regressive, quote unquote progressive agenda, anything that is going against that is inherently evil in their eyes. So if they don't have anything to back up that sentiment, then they're more than willing to make it up. And the media and a lot of these people with blue check marks next to their name are more than willing to just go along with it. They can care less about the facts. They'll just, like, if they get caught, they get caught, but they'll just move on. And like I said, if he don't get any serious time, he'll just move right along, and he'll be held as a hero, because although, he lied and all that, but still they understand. They'll do as much as they can to rehabilitate his career. So I don't think he's going to lose his career. People want to make it seem like, oh, yeah, he's done. No, he's not done. I mean, look at James Gunn. He got fired from making the next Guardians of the Galaxy for those, sick tweets he had years ago. And people, I hear all the time, especially if you watch like anything about entertainment or whatever, they're always going to bat for James Gunn because they feel like he was done wrong because all that stuff came out. Now, if this was a conservative of any sort and had a similar situation, they'd be kicking him to the curb and for him to never return and would never get any chance to do anything in Hollywood ever again if that person was a conservative. But James Gunn was your typical Hollywood deranged anti-Trump hater, basically. And so they're going to bat for him every chance they get. They trying to pump up James Gunn. Now bring back James Gunn. Look, whatever. So same thing's going to happen with old Jesse. He, when this all smooths over, he'll be fine. He'll be back on Empire, and pretty sure Lee Daniels and all the people, the creator of Empire and all that, they'll have no problem bringing them back. I mean, never mind Roseanne got fired for a tweet, but lying to the FBI and Chicago PD and causing all of this for weeks and wasting their time and money, and that, whatever. But yeah. So anyway, I mentioned about the Covenant Catholic kids. I know one thing in particular. I noticed that I forgot the kid's name. The kid name was right in my head right when I was talking about it, and I totally forgot. But the main kid, I forgot his name already. But anyway, he's suing. I think it's just maybe it's the Washington Post, but he's suing for millions. Let's just put it that way. And you know what? I hope they get gawkered in this when the smoke clears from this whole lawsuit. I hope what happens then, what happened to Gawker and the whole thing with Hulk Hogan, with that lawsuit. But yeah, with that and with what happened with Kavanaugh last year, I I really enjoy seeing liberals' stories fall apart, especially, when they come across with these, fabrications that the media loves to jump on and just accept as truth. And then after just a little bit of investigation, it all falls apart. And then everyone looks like a fool, especially the ones on, all the liberals who were just out there wanting to support anything that would make the president look bad, or just conservatives or Republicans, anything that shines a negative light that makes us as conservatives look like, the evil people that they think that we are. They'll just run with it. And I just love it when something like this falls apart and they just have to backtrack. It's beautiful. It really is to me. I mean, it doesn't happen enough, but when it does happen, it's it's a sight to behold. So, I haven't even mentioned that we're gonna have Nick Loeb with us on this episode to talk about the upcoming Roe v. Wade movie. I just got so caught up in talking about this, but yes, we're gonna play that interview momentarily, actually. And it's funny because I wanted to talk about that because all that was, it made me laugh. And we're going to play the interview with Nick right in a few minutes. But also I wanted to do that because after that is I guess I'm going to get a little personal myself about something after the interview with Nick. Just to I would probably say this is probably the most personal episode with what I'm going to talk about after our interview with Nick. So matter of fact, I'm now, unlike last episode, we actually have everything straight. We got everything fixed from last episode, so we can actually play what we normally play. So before we get to our interview with Nick, let's hear a word from our friends with the Founding Project.
Hello, Trend Chat listeners. If you like the Founding Project's Civics Education video series, Civics for All Ages, and our educational meme series, we think you will love our new website. Join us at thefoundingproject.com and be a part of the civics movement. The Founding Project is a 501c3 education nonprofit. Please join us today.
This is Dana Lash, and you're listening to Trend Chat.
Hello, this is Trend Chat, and we are very pleased to have Nick Loeb with us, the co-director and actor of the new movie that will be coming out soon called Roe v. Wade. How you doing, Nick?
Good. How are you?
So, I guess before I even get into any of my other questions, what brought you to become pro-life?
Oh, it's really sort of a culmination of learning about that life begins at conception. I mean, I wasn't always pro-life. I grew up being pro-choice, mainly because I didn't understand or realize that, when a woman gets pregnant, there's actually a child and a baby there. We were all taught as a child that they were just a clump of cells. And through my life, I ended up in my 20s having 2 abortions, which has really had an impact on my life. And as I grew older and realized that I had killed 2 babies, I ended up converting to becoming pro-life.
Oh, okay, wow. That's to have something like that to really, I know we've heard plenty of stories of something like that where when you would think about what happened, in the past or something, or participate in having abortions, and where that can really have an effect on a person. So,
right. Now
from that, I guess I wanted to see what was the motivation to make the film.
Well, it was an interesting story. I didn't really know the whole story of Roe v. Wade. Everybody in the country has heard of Roe, and a lot of people know that it's the decision to legalize abortion in America, but I don't think a lot of people will realize how it got to the courts and why the courts made the decision. And if you research, as I did and read over 40 books on the subject and the court transcripts and letters and speeches, you realize that the whole thing was fabricated and ended up being a conspiracy. And the justices made their decisions, really based on, public pressure and family pressure and not really the law. So it was a really interesting story to tell, almost like a conspiracy story like the movie JFK.
I've noticed from following on social media as far as the advertisement for the movie, and I saw that maybe Facebook has been, I guess, blocking or just making it difficult to promote.
Yeah, they ended up, they blocked us when we tried to raise money, and then they blocked us again when we now try to boost our ads, Facebook and YouTube, and so social media has been a little challenging for us.
So, and I also noticed that you have a GoFundMe page. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're still raising money at RoeVWade.com. Although we've completed and finished the film, we're in post-production, still raising money for marketing. So if any of your listeners want to go to RoeVWade.com and support us, it'd be great.
One question I want to ask is about the challenges as far as making this film. And I remember one story in particular because about, I guess, one important aspect, obviously, to making a film is, shooting on location in certain places. And I saw that you were going to either LSU or Tulane, and I also saw that you are an alumni of Tulane. When you went to try to film at Tulane, even though you were an alumni, I saw that you were denied. So, what happened there?
Yeah, so we did shoot at Tulane one day, and I don't think they realized. And after the first day that we shot, and the students found out the subject matter of the film, when we requested a second day, we were denied. And it was, they gave us, they showed us around, told us what was available, and then all of a sudden, magically, it wasn't available anymore. So.
I'm guessing that they just gave kind of a generic answer as far as why.
They said, well, that we don't have any, we're not able to shoot anymore because it's not available and there's classes and it's busy, and so we'll use a different location, and every location magically all of a sudden that was free and available that they showed us and presented us, all of a sudden from one day to the next became unavailable once the news got out of the movie.
So, well, like you mentioned that the movie is now in post-production. Now, as far as I guess what are the other steps that you're taking right now as far as to get the movie out in theaters?
Well, we're in negotiations with several distributors out in LA, and so hopefully we'll come to a deal sometime when we're finished the film, and they'll set a plan and release date.
Okay, so so as of right now, you don't have like a firm date right now?
No, we don't. We still have to lock our deal with our distributor.
Okay. Well, before we let you go, I want to ask if people want to know about you in particular, or maybe because being an actor and maybe want to kind of be familiar as far as what you've been in, give the people a little bit of what they could maybe have seen you in.
Sure. I just actually a film that I just co-starred in just hit iTunes called The Brawler, which is an interesting story about a boxer from New Jersey that Sylvester was the only boxer in history to ever knock down Muhammad Ali, and Stallone was watching the fight and went home and wrote Rocky about his life. And it's with Amy Smart and Karen Manning, Zach McGowan, and myself. And it's called The Brawler. You can get it on iTunes. Also, last year I came out in a movie called Den of Thieves. The year with Gerard Butler. The year before I came out in a film with Bruce Willis called Precious Cargo. All which you can get on iTunes.
All right. As far as with Roe v. Wade, and I guess one thing else I want to mention. So, what is the time period that's going to be showcased in the movie?
Yeah, most of the movie takes place from 1966 to 1973, so late 60s, early 70s. Roe was decided in 1973, so that's the majority of the time period that it takes place.
Okay. Now, like I said, being in post-production, so if people want to help out, I mean, obviously from the GoFundMe, you can go there, but I mean, is there other ways as far as being able to really get the word out about the movie?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if any of your listeners, we're going to be doing screenings. We book screenings all across the country, private screenings. It'll probably take place, sometime, around the summer. So if anybody wants to actually host a screening, they can go to our website and contact us, and we can help them, get a screening set up at their local theater.
All right. And I guess if people want to follow on social media and know everything about you and Roe v. Wade, where would they go?
Yeah, you just go to Facebook, go to Roe v. Wade movie, and if you go to our website, roevwade.com, there's links to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're pretty easy to find out there.
All right, Nick, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks to Nick Loeb for joining us. And again, if you want to help out, just check out Roe v. Wade movie.com. And yeah, so it's I know I said after we play our interview that I would wanted to I guess share a little bit. I mentioned that I was going to talk about this last week. I've been thinking about this for about a month now. Been going back and forth about whether I should write out a little script or something so I can when I come to this point, and I decided to just not do that because I didn't want to write this down. Just because I wanted to just go straight from the heart and just talk about it. And when Nick brought up earlier in the interview talking about when I asked him about why did he become pro-life, and one of the thing that he mentioned as far as in paying for an abortion. And when I did the interview, when he said that, that sparked something in my mind to where I didn't even think about that, and so it came it came out of nowhere for me. And so, but when I heard that, I knew that it was something I wanted to talk about as well. But at that time, I didn't, it hit me so quick, and I didn't really. I was like, well, I haven't even formulated what I wanted to say because it was just something. Like I said, it was just something that kind of spontaneous. So to hear from him, but now I knew once I play this interview, I'm going to talk about it afterwards. So for me, and the thing about it, it's not even something that I know for certain, but even in the uncertainty of it, it still affects me because I just don't know. So just to get into it. So I would say probably like in the mid 2000s, and at this time, I was not involved at that, at this time. I guess if you want to know like my whole story, I didn't get involved about anything in politics or anything like this, especially even to do a podcast. It was unheard of at that time to even consider that, because I was very, very apathetic about politics and anything, and I didn't start caring about any of these issues, especially abortion or anything, whether it's illegal immigration or limited government or whatnot. I didn't care about none of this until 2008. So all of this that I'm going to talk about was like probably 2005, 2006. So I just wanted to put that out there about where I was when this happened. So anyway, around that time, I got involved with the woman, and I said it like you don't know, but yeah. So the whole sex, how babies are made. So, and so like I said, I got involved with this woman and wasn't thinking twice about it. And got a call, well, mind you, I was on the road. I was already a truck driver at that time. I was just getting on the road. I just became a truck driver, I think maybe a year or so in. And so, yeah, I remember getting a call. I haven't forgot it. So I remember got a call from her, said she was pregnant. And at that time, when she said that, I was like, what? And, it just hit me. And I was totally surprised. And I remember I didn't know anything about, I already had a daughter at that time. So obviously I knew, that the potential of having another child at that time. And I know when it happened, when she told me, I was just kind of, I was blindsided by it. And I said, what you said, the old coward's way out, and just said, well, whatever, I guess, whatever your decision is, I support it. So, cause at that time, like I said, I was very apathetic to all these issues. So back then, when it came to the issue of abortion, I had the view kind of like probably some people probably have now, that it's legal. I know how stupid it sounds now to hear that about me, but yeah, that's how I viewed it then. It was legal, so I didn't think twice about about it being a human life and everything. Any of that, any of the arguments, all the what goes into the life issue never crossed my mind. I knew that it was an option, and so I was like, well, if you do, fine. It didn't matter to me one way or another. Now I was thinking like, well, if she keeps it, then I was like, well, I have to deal with that and whatnot. I would say this: I was good either way. It wasn't like I wasn't. I can't say I wasn't pressuring her to have an abortion. I at least in one sense, I can at least say that. Still not proud about all of it. So anyway, so from that, she said that she was going to have the abortion, but for her to do that, she wanted needed help in paying for it. So I honestly, I don't know. Everything I'm telling you is basically one-sided. So I'm going to get into the whole uncertainty of it in a minute. But so she said she needed help paying for it. So I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to do, okay. Again, I don't know anything about this. I don't know how this works. I don't know what. I don't even know how much it costs. At this time, it's not like I could just pop on Google or something or whatever. I guess I could, but this is the mid 2000s anyway. And so, so I said, okay. And so I remember the amount though. It was $300. I remember that. And, at that time, again, it's not like wasn't like something I could just PayPal. So I think I sent it through Western Union, and that was it. When I said that was it, that was it. That was the last time I heard from her, and that was the last time. That was it. I never spoke with her again. I'm emphasizing spoke because I haven't. I have seen her on Facebook, on different social media, or at least a couple of years afterwards. But after that was sent, I don't know. Now, this is where the uncertainty comes from. So if you're already hearing this, you're probably thinking like, well, maybe she just scammed you for your money. I pray to God she did. I really do. I honestly do. But it is something that I am always thinking about. It's something, because I remember the time when she called. And so from that point, I push out 9 months. And so always around September, October, around every year, I think about, this could have been my child's birthday. One of those months, it would have been around that time. But I don't know. And that's why I talk about the whole uncertainty of it. Now, from the interview, like he mentioned that, he knows that he did that happened and how it affected him. I don't even know. And like I said, I really hope I was just scammed. I really do. I hope that she just used that. She called me and just used that to scare me to get $300 out of me. I really do. I pray that that's what happened. But I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. So, and yeah, and that right there, that still haunts me, really. I mean, honestly, it really does. And I've made attempts to try to get in contact years afterwards. And see, that's why I go back in saying that I haven't spoke with her. I've seen her. I've made attempts to contact, but never got any response. I've tried. I remember a couple of years, probably maybe it wasn't even a year. I think I tried to email her back then and never got a response. Anyway, so I never got a confirmation about what that was. And so that kind of lends a little bit, makes me think that maybe I was scammed. Maybe I was just scammed out of $300, maybe. But again, like I said, I don't know. And yeah, it seems like I may never get an answer. Not to make light of this, but I'm thinking like maybe if I ran for president or something, if I ran for some office, maybe I would get an answer because, if I run on the platform of who I am, being a conservative and a Christian, I'm pretty sure some liberal, some liberal out there will find her, and all of a sudden I would get the answer. That's kind of like if you really want to know about yourself, run for office. So, I mean, I kind of make a little light on this, but I mean that is in a lot of cases true. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I actually did run for something, I probably would find the answer to a lot of questions. I don't have a lot of them. Honestly, if I was thinking about, if I was running for office, and I guess if I had like a PR person asking me about, well, do you have any skeletons in your closet or something that we need to know that may come up during your campaign, this will be it. This will probably be the big one. So here it is. I have put it out here on the podcast now. I honestly can't think of anything else that would be worse than this in my mind. I don't know. Maybe they might find something that I may find minor that might get blown up. But personally, I think this is the biggest skeleton I have. And yeah, I laid it all out for y'all. And honestly, I don't think maybe one or two people knew. And here I am putting it out for the public. Whoever that hears this episode is going to know this now. But I take responsibility for it. If it really happened, if it did, I mean, it is something that and I say again, I hope I was scammed. I really do. In that situation. So, but, that being said, I mean, I just want to transition off of that heavy subject. But, I mean, if I could think of another thing that might come up in my what you call opposition research about me if I ran for something, ran for anything, if they ever find that tape of me when I was overseas, Here's another one for you. I participated in what they call a hot body contest. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yours truly participated in a hot body contest in South Korea. That's another one. If that tape ever came out, because I noticed I saw a couple of cameras when I was on that stage. Now look, I'm saying I was in the hot body contest. For you people that don't know, my name is Brian Bledsoe. If you never seen me, let's just put it this way: I'm not Vin Diesel. Let's put it that way. I'm not Chris Hemsworth. Let's put it. I don't have that sort of body. I'm a husky man. Let's put it that way. So and I was the same way back then when I was in the Army. But still, even though I was in the Army, I wasn't like, toned by any means. So yeah, I don't want you to imagine that, but I'm just telling you, it wasn't like I had washboard abs. Let's just go with that. So and someone filmed it, but yeah, I don't know. I never saw any footage of that, but again, if I ran for like senator or representative or anything, I would not be surprised. All of a sudden, I would see a campaign ad saying it'll be the video of me on that stage gyrating, and they'll come across, would you want this man to be your next representative or senator, etc. and I honestly, if I saw that and I was running a campaign and that sank my campaign, I would just have to laugh. I mean, not too much, because I would have wasted all these people's time for something like that. But that still, here I am. I just admitted that here on the podcast. So here, now that'll be, already out there. There it is. Go find it. So, all right. So that's it for our episode. Next week we'll be at CPAC. Can't wait for that. It's always a fun time. I really enjoy that. And also, just want to, I guess, mention ODGapparel.com. Make great Christian, hats and shirts. Want to definitely give them a shout out, and especially if you go to odgapparel.com and you find something you like, if you put in the promo code TrendChat10, you get 10% off. Check them out. I mean, look, Stop Being Dead, the hat. I mean, they got plenty of different shirts and hats. They're all great. And 1776united.com. Great Patriot gear. They have all sorts of hats and shirts and mugs and everything. Anything for the Patriot in your life. I have all those shirts. I'll be wearing both of those. I'll be wearing some ODG apparel at CPAC next week, and I'll be wearing some 1776 apparel at CPAC. So if you want something on 1776united.com and you see something you like there, go to and want to get 20% off, just put in the promo code 76 militia -trend chat. You put that in the promo code, you get 20% off. So appreciate it. I really do appreciate y'all listening. And if you like what you're hearing, like, share, subscribe, all of that. We're available, Google Play, iTunes, all of that. And so just, yeah, I appreciate everything. I appreciate everyone listening. And I don't know what I'm going to do for CPAC. Well, we may do something live from CPAC. I don't know. But I know I'm pretty sure we're going to have some interviews the next week. And so, yeah, look forward to all of that. And yeah, until next time, we'll chat with you later.